Hi guys, and welcome to Jays and Kays. What we have here today is a Suunto Core regular black. In fact, this one is fresh out of the box, as you can tell from the plastic on it. But what I want to demonstrate today is for those of you who don't like to use this standard elastomer strap, or you want to replace it because you want something more colorful or durable or comfortable, how are you going to do that? And so let's talk about this strap. You can see that it's molded so it matches the body of the core here, and the core doesn't have any traditional lugs that extend from the body of the watch, and that's problematic actually. So in order to adapt maybe a typical style strap, there's going to need to be some adapters. And for those of you who might be familiar with the Suunto Core Crush or what have you, there's a flat elastomer strap that comes with that, and that includes 4 metal adapters, 2 for each end of the watch, and that solves that problem. Now, while we also sell those style of adapters, that's not what we're going to use today. Today I want to introduce to you the premium solution for adapting any style strap to a Suunto Core, and that's the JaysAndKays Fixed Lugs. So let's get things going, and I'll show you what it's all about. So obviously, first thing we need to do is take the original strap off. Now you'll notice there's 4 slotted screws, 2 on each end here, and those screws don't thread into the watch body itself. There's a screw bar that passes through here, and since it's a screw bar, in order to disassemble it and take it out, we're going to need to use 2 screwdrivers, one to hold one end fixed while we unthread the opposite end. Now I want to make a quick note about what size of screwdriver I'm using. It's a 2.4 by 25. I've got these just from a local tool supply store near me. I don't have any fancy jeweler's screwdrivers or anything of that nature. But the reason I'm pointing out the size of the screwdriver is because I'm trying to use something as large as I can that's going to engage the screw head really well. With this particular watch and the all black that uses the standard elastomer strap, these screws aren't necessarily that difficult to remove. But if you had maybe the crush with the metal adapters that the factory provides, the factory is going to put some sort of thread locking compound, kind of like Loctite, on those screws, and they're very difficult to remove. So if you have an inappropriately sized screwdriver, it could be subject to slip stripping out the screw heads. I've had a couple customers who've encountered that problem. They've had some difficulty. They stripped the screws out and they've sent me the watch, and I've got it sorted out for them. But we want to, an ounce of prevention. We want to make sure you get the right size screwdriver when you're doing this. It's going to make everyone's job a lot easier. So with that being in mind, we want to insert one of the screwdrivers on one side of the screw bar and engage it. And this is a technique I use. I've done this many times. You may find one that works better for you, but I grip the screwdriver with some of my fingers while holding the watch body with my index finger and thumb. At the same time, I'm going to use the screwdriver on the opposite end to unscrew one side of the screw bar. In fact, it's coming off very easily. So I've got that unscrewed fully. Now the screw will still be somewhat recessed inside the elastomer strap, so I'm going to dig the screw head out with my screwdriver. Just pull it out far enough so I can grab it with my fingers. So there's one part of the screwdriver, one part of the screw bar assembly. So I've got that off. You should be able to pull the elastomer strap away and then slide it out. Okay, there you go. There's the other side of the screw bar assembly, which I can demonstrate for you. It's 2 portions. They're not necessarily equal halves, but there's 2 portions, and I'll just screw them back together. This isn't critical for what we're talking about, but there you go. Let's proceed to the other side. Same technique here. Again, it depends on what works for you. I just embed the screwdriver into the palm of my hand. The screwdriver I use is just the right length, and I can grip it with the other fingers while I hold the watch between my index finger and my thumb, and then unscrew the opposite side. Okay, that's done. You might be able to pop this out with my fingernail. No, I can't. So I'll dig it out with the screwdriver far enough to grab it. And there's the other portion of that screw bar. Strap off. I'll just screw these together so I don't lose them. Okay, so there's your watch body, and you can see the indentation on the body where the strap's going to engage. And here, I'll rotate this. Now you can see the hole right there where the screw bar passes through. All right, so let's grab one of our adapters, our JaysAndKays Fixed Lugs. All right, now if I were doing this something other than just a demonstration, I would take this screw off and I would add a dab of Loctite to this. And that's because I want these screws to stay in place. If you guys are out in the field or you're downrange or something like that, we don't want one of these coming out. So a little bit of Loctite would usually do the trick. But you'll notice that on one side of the adapter, on our fixed lug here, there's a logo printed. Just make sure that logo faces downward. So orient it so that the logo is down, and then you can insert it here. Okay, and once you set it in place, it's going to lock right into that recession there. And there's our screw bar poking out the other side. Just grab another one of the lugs, place it in there, and we will drop this in. And again, I would normally have added a dab of Loctite on this, but since we're just demonstrating this for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm not going to. Just tighten that screw down till it's snug, and it'll bite. Once it bites, I usually just flip these over and I go back and forth a couple times with just snugging them down. You snug them down pretty good, a little bit of Loctite, and there you go. All right, so one side's on. You can see the fixed lugs are in place. It's a pretty sleek and sexy solution there. Let's put the other one on. Again, orient the fixed lugs so that your logo is facing downward. So that makes it pretty easy to orient correctly. And if you were to orient it incorrectly, it's just not going to seat properly in this recession. So it's going to be pretty obvious. But anyway, let's get this other screw in. And again, as I'm screwing it down, I'm just going to snug one side, and then I'll flip to the other, and then go back and forth a couple times just to make sure they're both snug on both sides. There you go, it's in place. So that's our watch with lugs installed. Those are JaysAndKays Fixed Lugs, and these are not going to swivel, they're not going to move. They're going to be a great solution for all watch strap options, whether it be a one-piece, a two-piece, a 5-ring, you name it, right? Now, these are actually what we call our spring bar end fixed lugs. We have another model that has screw bar ends for those guys who don't want to take the risk of a spring bar popping. They will have screw bars on the ends, just like the ones that secure our fixed lugs to the watch body. But for the spring bar end, you'll notice that there is actually, it's a drilled lug. There's a through hole. And that through hole is there for a purpose. It's so that you can pop the spring bar out using a spring bar tool. Or for those of you guys who drive desks during the day, you probably have a paper clip available. You can also just use a simple paper clip to pop in the hole and pop your spring bar out. I'll show you how the spring bar sits in there just like a normal lug. No big deal. In fact, I'm just going to drop it into place. Okay, like so. There's the spring bar installed. And so if I were to remove it, say with the paper clip scenario, I could just take the paper clip and pop it in the hole there. So I've got actually a strap here to demonstrate. We can install it. Here's a 24 millimeter two-piece 3-ring ballistic nylon in a camouflage, in a woodland camo here. So we'll pop the first side in here. You may use a spring bar tool if you want to on this. Sometimes I use my thumbnail just to press the screw bar tip down, but since I have these gloves on, it's going to be easier if I just use the spring bar. And you just move it around until it drops into place, just like a regular installation of any watch strap. There you go, that side's in. Grab our other spring bar. Okay, drop the other strap end in here. I'll grab my glove. There you go. Just grab my spring bar tool, press that down. Oops, this one doesn't want to go in. Let's go ahead and pop that back down in there. There we go. There you go. Now you've got your Suunto Core on a two-piece ballistic nylon. And that was pretty easy. If we wanted to change the strap, no big deal. That's the advantage of these spring bar ends, is I could simply just pop this strap out. So if I wanted to swap it out quickly, I don't need any screwdrivers. I just pop it out. There you go. I've depressed the spring bar, It's out. And I've got actually another strap prepped here. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my Bell & Ross homage straps, and this one's in a desert camo. So let's say we want to install this one. Just want to demonstrate how quick and easy the spring bar end JaysAndKays Fixed Lugs actually are. So you can have your strap changed in a matter of seconds, really. There's one side, pop the other side on. I actually use my fingernail usually just to get that screw bar down there, but since I have the gloves on. And there you go, now we got it set up on a desert camo. But there you go, there's your JaysAndKays Fixed Lugs. That's how you're going to take an old strap off, put a new one on with these adapters. If you have any questions about this, let me know. We'd be happy to answer them. And of course, you can find these in our stores mentioned in the comments below. Thanks a lot. Bye.